Live your best life.
So today I wanted to go through some of the comments that I've made in social media groups and some of my own groups and some of the other groups that I've joined, like a bunch of Dispenza groups, a bunch of spirituality groups and such. And this one that I'm going to start with is one I hear very similar comments or see similar questions online. A lot of different places, people are asking a lot of questions about meditation and what it's supposed to do for us and such. And so I'm going to read. I'll keep their name disclosed just in case they want their privacy, but I'll read their comment first and then I'll say what I mentioned to them and maybe tie in kind of what I've said in the book here, Live Your Best Life, right here. You can get it on Amazon, but not a lot of people have read it so far, about 100 or so books sold so far, so yeah, just need to get this social media going, get a little bit more attention so that more people can read it. And I am going to make a video series. I want to expand on this book, so I do want to wait until I've rewritten it and have all these extra details in there that I already have. It's already a great book now, but I've learned a lot in the last 9 months since I've published it, and I want to really fine-tune it before I start making a video series of it. So let's go through this question that they asked. They said, looking for clarity. It feels like Dr. Joe spends a lot of time talking about how to leave this physical realm to get stuff achieved, such as manifesting and changing personal beliefs. The dichotomy bothers me in that this reality is how we have our human experience. So we need to be here and in the present moment. But the more meditation I do, the more it feels like I shouldn't even be here. I'm not saying that Dr. Joe doesn't suggest or suggests that we shouldn't enjoy our life, but I feel like I'm really missing something here. I've read all of his books and done all the meditations and watched endless videos. Does anybody know what he suggests when someone is still not where they want to be after all of this? So I gave her quite a long explanation, and then I had to explain a little bit more even after that, and I hope that I zeroed in on what she was. It seems like I did. It seems like I zeroed in on what she was asking. So I said meditation is where we practice mindfulness, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and shifting our energy, vibration, frequency, and consciousness states. So see meditation as a swimming pool to practice in for divers or even for astronauts. There's no need to stay in the pool forever, but when you'd like to practice a new technique, the pool is always available. Or if you want to hone a technique as well, it's a good way to, if you're having trouble zeroing in and like raising your vibe just throughout the day, just give yourself 5 minutes. You don't even need a guided meditation or any kind of track. I mean, you don't even really need music or frequency stuff. You just tune out. Just go within. And that's what meditation is. So you can help you can focus on raising your vibe and nothing else. And that's the only point. Well, not the only point, but it's a major point of meditation. And it's why we start with meditation, to become mindful during our day. And it's something that we can always go back to. Even if we're really great at mindfulness, we can always go back to meditation anytime to help raise that vibe quicker than you could generally just through mindfulness. So, I continued, he has walking meditations to help transition us from the pool to the ocean or to space. And this is our transition from being in a higher state of being while being nothing to being something. So it is the transition between meditation into mindfulness and self-awareness. For most, it is not so easy to be mindful while being distracted by the physical world. So it is better to practice while not distracted until we understand what being mindful is enough so that we can do it during the day while distractions are present. Most of his lectures speak about this mindfulness. He speaks about noticing the programs we fall victim to and how to then reprogram them once we notice them. Change your energy, change your life is one of his quotes. I even made a design for that in my store for you too. You can look up For You Too on just about any. I think mostly I've just got Redbubble. This is my best one, but I'm on a bunch of different sites. I'm trying to get it onto Etsy and to Amazon, but for now, just have the smaller ones. You kind of print on demand site. I've got like 7 of them. For You Too. You could probably look up libel as well. I believe I hashtagged libel on all of them. But yeah, change your energy, change your life. And I think that's in the book too, a picture of it. So change the way you think, feel, and act, your personality. Change your personal reality. So you change that, and you can change your personal reality. You change your personality, change your personal reality. So it has to start with changing your personality, though. You can't change your personal reality without changing your personality first. It's inner to change the outer. You can't change the outer without changing the inner. The outer changes as a response to the change of the inside. There is no, and sometimes it can work the other way, right? Like your outer will be hitting you with so many of the same patterns and so many of the same stuff over and over again that your inner finally goes, oh, there's this pattern and I think I need to change something here. So the outer is just a reflection to help you change the inside. And then, hey, look, it has changed out here, so I must have changed in here. So yeah, but sometimes you need that awareness from the outside. So that's always great. Your outer reality is that for you. It is a reflection so that you can see what's going on the inside, and that's the beautiful thing. We don't have to always look negatively at the outside, like it's, oh, I must have done something wrong or whatever. Like, no, like, okay, perfect. This is what I don't want. This is what I don't align with. Let me get to what does align, what I do want. Let me start consciously manifesting, and we'll get to that in this comment that I made. So the inner reality is what shifts the outer reality. State of being is what materializes things, not circumstances. State of being creates circumstances. Circumstances don't create state of being. Now, like I was saying before, sometimes the circumstances can help you notice your state of being so that you can change it, but it doesn't actually change the state of being. You have to do that with inner work. Usually with meditation, but mindfulness works as well. This is the law of attraction at its core. So now, yes, a good part of his lectures, Joe Dispenza, and books are using science to prove the usefulness of meditation, because that's where to begin and to start practicing, but it's not the end result. He never says to meditate all day and never take action on anything. The meditations are permission slips or tools to help you raise your vibration so that you get yourself in the state of being that will best suit you for following your passion, joy, and highest excitement. Once you're in that state, you will naturally be moved to take action. You will naturally be moved to take action from the inspiration that comes. And once you're in that state, you will not be drawn to the same old programs and habits you had while in a lower state of being. You also won't respond to the same circumstances in the same way, therefore proving to yourself that you have changed and are ready for a new outer reality. So you've noticed, I'm sure, within your own life, if you're in a low vibe, you can respond to people and circumstances much differently than you are when you're in a higher vibe. And just by shifting the vibe alone, you prove to yourself that you're reacting differently. Now, a lot of times it's going to keep on looping back. Your outer reality is going to keep sending you the same kind of patterns. And it's not going to let you get out of that pattern until you start reacting to it differently. Just by changing the vibe, you will react to it differently. You won't be so triggered and so quick to judge and, be angry and depressed and all these other things, anxious, etc., on the lower end of the spectrum. So, once you're in that state, the higher vibration state, the one that makes you take action, that gives you inspiration and all these things. Once you're in that state, you will not be drawn to the same old programs and habits you had while in a lower state of being. You also won't respond to the same circumstances in the same way, therefore proving to yourself that you have changed and are ready for a new outer reality. Many people have become discouraged when the outer reality stays the same after putting in some self-work. It will stay the same as a test to yourself until you prove to yourself that you have changed by responding differently to the outer reality than you did previously. So once you can keep a high state of being while experiencing the same outer reality, then you have changed, and then you're ready for a new outer reality. Until then, you haven't changed and will repeat the same old patterns and programs. This is why he mentions people fall in love with life itself and stop wanting things because they feel they already have them. It's not delusional, it's a change of state of being. When you raise your energy and you've found what you're looking for, when you change your energy, you have found what you're looking for. We don't actually want the house, the car, the career, the health, etc. We want to feel incredible. We think those things are. Do you think we think those things will make us feel incredible? So we believe we want them. But if you listen to any kind of people that have gained those things, like it's never enough. It might make them slightly happier, but it's never like, okay, now life is perfect. Like, no, there's always something else. That's why materialistic things, or even certain relationships and your career, wealth, etc. Like it's never quite that thing that we need, that we want. It's always the feeling. Now, if we get that thing and we keep that feeling, which is possible, then that's wonderful. But we're always going to want more things. That's just the human condition. We want more. We want more experience. We want more things. We want more relationships. We just want more from life. We're here to experience things and to play around. That's what this is. We're here again to try it all over again in a new place. And this is one of the toughest places to do it, Earth, where we forget everything beforehand. Now, we forget everything when we come back, which is much more intriguing because you get to discover yourself in a whole new way. Because if you already knew that you were spirit, that you were a multidimensional being, all these things, and if you were an incredible manifester, and this is how reality works, like, it wouldn't be as fun. I mean, you would just know inherently without having to relearn anything or discover yourself in a new way. You just know. You just live reality like you always do in most life, where you come into physical form knowing how powerful you are. So I said we don't actually want the house, the car, the career, the health, etc. We want to feel incredible. We think those things will make us feel incredible, so we believe we want them, but it's not the circumstances we actually want, it's the state of being. That higher state of being will in turn give us anything and everything we want as well, because we will now begin attracting higher vibe circumstances to us, being in the higher vibe. And I asked her, I hope this makes sense now. Somebody replied to that. Perfect explanation. I appreciate this so much. She said, thank you so much for taking the time to explain that. I don't disagree with anything you're saying. My issue is slightly more detail-oriented. I understand that you don't want the physical things because you feel fulfilled emotionally. But what's the point in living the human experience if you can't enjoy all the physical things in this realm? Shouldn't they bring you happiness? I understand that we should be happy and fulfilled all on our own, but it makes it sound like we can only have one or the other and not both. I guess that's the bigger question here for me. How can I enjoy my life as a human if through being fulfilled by the physical items that I surround myself with don't bring me happiness and excitement anymore? So, I said, perhaps when I said people fall in love with life and stop wanting things, I was a bit loose with the explanation, and I can see where the confusion will come in for that. Because that is something that gets misconstrued, especially like money and spirituality. Like, oh, well, if you're so spiritual, then like, why do you need money? Like, shouldn't you not care about things like the Buddhist mindset and all this stuff? And it's like, well, you can have both. You can still want things and be extremely enlightened, extremely spiritual, and so whole inside. Feeling so much love. Like, you don't have to feel fulfilled and never want anything. That's going to be part of the human condition. So she's talking, like, all right, well, we can fulfill things through meditation and through being in 5D state of mind, like being kind of quantum in a way with our eyes closed. But what about in reality? Then we come back, and now, like, we're not supposed to want anything. We're not supposed to, enjoy life's splendors now. Well, I can see that. Where that would get a little confusing, and I can definitely see where my words weren't quite enough. So this is where I clarify here. So, yeah, I was a bit loose with that explanation about people fall in love with life and stop wanting things. So we will still want things, but we will focus on the feeling of having them rather than the feeling of lacking them. Feeling of having them versus the feeling of lacking them. And we learn that skill through meditation generally. Meditation is not 100% necessary, but it is usually a radical way to start taking back control of your life, and very effective for most, whether if not they recognize it. Whether or not they recognize it. So to further expand on loving life and not wanting, it's not that people don't want anything, it's that they want without feeling the lack of not having it. It's the difference between wishing and manifesting. Like when we wish, we're focusing on the lack of having it. And this is how most people have been taught to pray. Gee, I wonder why. We also give away our power to a man in the sky and hope he comes to save us and give us what we want, instead of knowing that we have the power inside all along. And it's all about our feelings and our thoughts, our vibration. Joe knows this, and basically teaches the law of attraction from a science standpoint, with a focus on meditation, because most people hear law of attraction, chakras, God, etc., just run away. He's actually quite spiritual and communicates with the Arcturians in his advanced retreats as well, but again, that kind of talk will scare off newbies, so he saves it for his advanced students. But back to what she was saying. Back to what you were asking. I think another way of explaining this could be, when you're in a high vibe, you don't need anything, but you still want things. And those things that you want, you will attract with your high vibe, through your thoughts and feelings alone, because that's what matters. That's what materializes things, not circumstances. Do we still need to take action to be in the right place at the right time, or do things that our intuition and impulses tell us to do, like once we're in the high vibe? Yes, absolutely. But physical action without aligned vibration will not yield the results we want. It will not be aligned with what we consciously want to manifest, because state of being is what manifests things. So let's say you're following your passion, like Liz, like I'm doing YouTube. If I'm in a low vibe while I'm doing it, though, I should just stop. I'm going to manifest in the wrong direction. I'm not actually in a high vibe while I'm doing it, so get in the high vibe first. Otherwise, I'm basically manifesting the opposite of what I want. I'm kind of expecting failure here. Oh god, you're gonna make another YouTube video. It's just so boring, or I really suck at this. Like, well, you're gonna suck at it then. It's gonna be boring. High vibe. Be excited. Oh, this is my thing. Like, I can't wait to talk to the world today. I can't wait to share some knowledge to some people. I can't wait to make this funny video, or this amazing meditation, or whatever. This awesome new design that I have. I can't wait to do a Q&A with people, which I can't wait to do. I want to get to 1,000 so bad, just like start talking to you guys daily, or at least weekly, somewhere in between. And yeah, so even if you're doing that passion, if you're in a lower vibe, it doesn't matter. Like, just stop doing it. Like, get to the higher vibe first, and then do whatever, because you're gonna get your inspiration here, all those like beautiful thoughts and like the things that are gonna lead you to success and continue on your path. They're gonna be here in this vibe, in the high vibe, not in the low vibe. Low vibe is just gonna keep telling you, oh, why am I doing this? I suck at this. Da 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 da. Don't do it. Like, meditate first, or be mindful enough to catch yourself. Be like, no, it's time to get in the higher vibe. Higher vibe. Let's go do what I love. It's whatever it is. It could be anything. We all have different passions, and that's because we all have a different higher self feeding us that. Like, hey, this is what you like. You're gonna feel excited when you pick up a guitar. But other people don't give a crap. They feel nothing when they pick up a guitar. If anything, they feel fear or anxiety. Like, what is this? I don't want to mess with this. But I and other people who enjoy music and enjoy guitar specifically, like, that's our higher self telling us, hey, you're meant to do this, so you're going to feel excited or some sort of passion, some sort of joy when you first pick up a guitar in your life, and every time after. Same with people who paint, etc. I'm doing a little Bob Ross tribute. Got to have those videos up in the next couple days. I think it's been fun creating that for him. I miss and love Bob Ross. I love his voice. I love his demeanor and his life lessons. I think he's quite a spiritual teacher in his own right, and I'm gonna showcase that through a couple of videos. I don't want to get too. I'm gonna go too crazy with the Bob Ross thing, but I do have a couple of awesome videos I want to make of those. So, anyways, back to this. Mr. Sidetrack over here. So, yes, you won't need anything here. You'll just want it, and you'll know that your vibration, your thoughts, and your feelings will attract it to you. So that's what's important. You got to get there first, and that's how you. That's why you should follow your feelings, not your thoughts, because whatever the thought is, it's the feeling will come from that thought, and if that thought is aligned, you'll feel good. If the thought is misaligned, it won't feel good, and it's a much easier way to start paying attention to how you're manifesting. And I'll get into that. So, again, high, low vibes. Get in the high vibe first. Abraham Hicks gives an example in her book, Law of Attraction, which I don't have on the shelf because it's in my book bag because I've been reading it. It's awesome. She gives an example in her book, Law of Attraction, about a woman getting out of an abusive relationship and wanting to just find a man who will love her and respect her, but also feels so lonely being single that she goes to the same stomping grounds she usually does and finds a new man nearly instantly while her vibration is still the same and expects different results. You've got your last man being here. You didn't raise your vibe at all, so what do you think you're going to keep on attracting? The same guy, the same patterns, the same life experiences, because you didn't learn it. You didn't learn how to shift and change things up. You're just following the program now. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna keep looking for a man. I need a man. I don't want to feel lonely, but I want to be respected and loved. Well, you're gonna attract whatever it is that you're thinking of. And if you're thinking about not wanting something, that's also going to attract it. So that's how it works. That's how law of attraction works. And it's kind of, it sucks that it's that way. But if you know how it works, then you can start using it correctly instead of allowing yourself to just keep on autopilot, subconsciously pulling in the same lessons over and over again, the same kind of attractions, the same kind of people, the same kind of money situations, relationships, health issues. We have to. I have a friend who just won't take that advice, and I understand that they're in so much pain, but like if you're focusing on the pain, you're gonna get more pain. You have to find a way, and she's proven to me, she's shown to me that she's been able to reach higher vibes from meditation, through going for walks and stuff, and like doing things. She's kind of creative, so like do those things, like focus on that. Like I know the pain hurts, but if you could just focus on anything but the pain for a while, it'll start relieving. I know it will. That's how the law of attraction works. You don't understand. It's too hard. It's too painful. I understand that you've done it before. Maybe I haven't experienced it, but I've watched you raise your vibe. You've proven to yourself and to me that you can do it. You just have to keep doing it, like, longer and push through it, Keep focusing on the good. Be in that high vibe as long as you possibly can. And stay out of the lows. Every time that you feel low vibe, from a thought, from a circumstance, from a situation, from a person, from whatever, ignore it if you have to, but try to shift it. If it won't shift, then shift the subject of thought or of the conversation, of the situation, or walk away from it, or mentally check out. Change subjects within yourself. Stay on the higher vibe as long as possible. So, this lady in Abraham Hicks' example, goes out to look for a new man in the same vibration. What do you think she's gonna get? She's gonna get the same man, different name. She's gonna attract the same kind of, narcissistic, abusive kind of guy. And I see this all the time. I'm in a couple of trauma healing and relationship stuff, like groups to help people with these sort of things, and I see those same kind of things all the time. Same kind of questions about how to attract the right guy, and how to leave their relationships and all these other things. It's all the same kind of answers, really. Vibration. It's all about vibration. State of being. Now, so Abraham's advice to her is to change that state of being first so she attracts the high vibe man rather than another low vibe man like she had just manifested. Until she changes, she will continue to do the same patterns and programs and loops and attract the same kind of man. So we're incredible manifestors naturally, but we don't all know how to consciously manifest what we want. We end up leaving it to our subconscious and then wonder why we keep getting what we don't want. If we consciously focus on our feelings and move towards what makes us feel good and away from what makes us feel bad, we will naturally think better thoughts, and those thoughts will soon enough manifest what we want. That's what The Secret says. And when I first watched The Secret, I wasn't awakened yet, so I thought it sounded nice, but I was like, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But now it makes perfect sense. And Bashar and Abraham Hicks, I feel, are the best ones to explain the law of attraction in more detail than The Secret did. The Secret kind of left it the basics for us, like thoughts are things, and think about your thoughts. Really, it's, and I think they do talk about the feeling of it, and like, do you feel good when you're thinking this, or feel bad when you're thinking this? But people miss it. People miss the whole point, and they've seen The Secret, So I know I missed it, but I wasn't awakened then either, so that's probably why. But yeah, there's minor small things, detachment and paying attention to your feelings. These sort of things really help better understand the law of attraction and how it works. And especially that whole thinking of what you don't want, like that's gonna give you what you don't want. So. And some people don't feel like they have control of that, but if you meditate, or if you're awakened at all, like you figure out pretty quickly you're not your thoughts, and you can change them. You're not your feelings either. You can change your feelings. Now, it doesn't mean you can necessarily change. Like, you can change your feelings about certain things. Again, change the vibration, but you gotta change the vibration first. Like, you can't be in this vibe and change your feelings about somebody or a situation. Like, you gotta raise the vibe and then see from a higher perspective. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was just kind of small-minded down here. It was very narrow vision, like tunnel vision of like, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. That's it. Like, all I can see is that you're hurting me, or that this sucks, or that I suck, or whatever. Like, there is no other options like you have up here. Like I explained in the masterclass video of Bashar's positive and negative, the contraction and expansion, the positive and negative beliefs, and how to get out of the negative beliefs into the positive. And the positive, you see the door's wide open. Negative beliefs. Oh yeah, I could choose to go back to feeling like a victim and whatever. But when you're in the negative belief section, that door's got all kinds of warnings, all kinds of caution flags. Just, whoa, don't go through this door. You don't want to go back to that positive belief. What if it's not true? What if you are unworthy? What if you're not lovable? All these things. Like, you don't want to find out, do you? Just stay cozy here in this negative belief land. Don't go through that door. That's gonna kill you to find out. So let's go back. We're almost done here. So to finish off the last question that she asked, we can definitely have both things we want and a high vibe. I'm just telling you to work in reverse of what society has told us. This is what Joe and all other spiritual teachers tell us. Start with your vibration, your energy, your state of being, your feeling. All these things are the same, essentially. And don't let what is dictate your feelings. Don't let your circumstances dictate your state of being. Don't let the outer reality dictate your inner reality. It all starts with the inner reality. The inner reality changes the outer reality, not the other way around. So, people say things like, face the facts. No. Don't face the facts. Don't pay attention to what is, unless you want more of the same. Don't pay attention to the outer reality, to the circumstances, unless you want more of the same things. Circumstances don't matter. They don't materialize things. If they did, Joe would still have a broken back and not be walking. And if someone doesn't believe in his story, just think of any inspirational story, really. They made a decision to not let their circumstances hold them back from living their dream. They started feeling powerful and joyful anyways. And the opposite is true about money lottery winners, about most lottery winners. For instance, so they happen to attract some wealth, but if they don't change their poor mindset and their vibration, then they end up poor again in no time. They're just staying right here. They happen to bring in some money, but it doesn't actually raise their vibe at all. So they end up poor again. They got the same patterns, the same circumstances. They just keep doing the same loops, and they just stay in the same place. So pay attention to your feelings. If you monitor all of your thoughts, it would become quite tiring. Because Joe and other scientists say we have about 60,000 thoughts, which is about a thought per second throughout the day. So trying to monitor each one as they come in is part of mindfulness and self-awareness, but the thoughts themselves aren't as important as the feeling that you get from the thoughts. So if you can have 60,000 thoughts, let's say 30,000 are thoughts that aren't aligned with you, that make you feel bad, feel negative feelings, and the other 30,000 are positive ones. They're higher vibe thoughts. And which ones are you going to pay attention to? It's kind of like the whole wolf scenario. Like, which wolf do you feed? That's the one that grows. So feed the positive thoughts. Like, pay attention to those and let those spiral and become more and more thoughts that you're thinking of. Think more details within these thoughts. Think more deeply about those things. So instead of having to monitor every single one, really just monitor the feeling. If you're feeling good about certain thoughts that are coming in, or certain situations, certain anything, if you're feeling good, keep it going. If you're not, shift it. It's much easier to shift your state, by shifting the thought that you're having. Like, if you're, say, money always makes you feel low, then stop thinking about money. Think about something that makes you feel grateful, and the things that are working out in your life that you feel positively about if you need to. And once you're in a higher vibe, you could maybe go back to money, bring money up to here, and start thinking positively about money. If not, if you try to do that and it's not working, then maybe you're not at a high enough vibe, or you don't have the right perspective with it. So just ignore it for a while. Like, you can attract these things that always bring you negative things, like money in this instance, just by being in a high vibe. If you just think about all the other things all day and then put attention in those, you can start attracting positively everything, including money, even though it makes you feel bad when you think about it, because you're thinking about the lack of it. But if you're able to think about money and the abundance of it, and how you could, visualize it and feel great about money and be grateful about money and the money that you spend, knowing that it's going to come back to you and these kind of things, and then do that. That's great, But in the meantime, if it's always making you feel bad and you just always feel like, oh, I just feel so in survival mode and it always sucks when I think about money, then just stop thinking about it. Do your best to shift that thought. When you notice that bad feeling when you're thinking about money, or when some sort of situation that makes you think about money arises, just shift it as best as you can, and as quick as you can. You don't have to do it instantly. Some people get worried. Oh God, I just had a bad thought. That means I'm going to manifest it. Well, no, not instantly. You have time to shift, as long as you're not constantly thinking about bad things and feeling bad. Or it doesn't have to be thinking about bad things. You're just feeling bad thinking of anything. Then if you're doing that too much, then you will start manifesting things that don't align with you, bad things, whatever, like what you don't want. So consciously shift your vibe, shift your feelings to the things that you do want, and you'll start manifesting the things that you do want. So, yeah, if you monitored all your thoughts, it would become tiring. And not all thoughts will be what you align with. That's why emotions are our guidance system. If a thought makes you feel good, it's aligned. If it makes you feel bad, it's not. So if you're thinking about manifesting wealth and that feels good, that means you're focusing on the abundance of it, and that's aligned. That will move you towards manifesting it. If you're thinking about manifesting wealth and that feels bad, then that means you're focusing on the lack of it, and that's not aligned with you. That will move you towards manifesting more lack. So stop wanting things. No. Just make sure when you think about wanting them, it feels good and not bad, and you're manifesting in the right direction. Start meditating every day? Not necessarily. It's not a must. You can practice mindfulness and consciously manifesting without meditating, But it's a strong tool to use for sure. It helps us tune out the rest and focus specifically on our vibration and how we feel. Then consciously shift that feeling to a high vibe. And we could do that with mindfulness and no meditating, but usually not without practicing via meditation first. So nothing is impossible, though. I mean, meditation is just a permission slip, but it's a strong permission slip that most people use to help raise their vibration and tend to start at least learning how to become mindful. It's much easier to become mindful when there's no distractions than it is becoming mindful just throughout your day when there are distractions constantly. It's a little bit tougher to practice that. So that was the end there, and did get a good response from her. She said, there are some amazing responses on this thread, but I think you gave me the majority of the answers I was looking for, so thank you so much for taking the time to respond. And other people said things like, you articulate this magical work so well, thank you. That's all. I'm happy to get those kind of responses. I do my best to explain things, and I hope that you guys felt similarly. So in the comments, go ahead and leave any sort of tips or tricks that you, or just understandings that you have in this realm that can maybe better explain this that I'm explaining right now. If you feel I got anything wrong, I'd love to hear that as well. And if that helped you, then please leave a comment for that as well, and like and subscribe for more. I'm going to start with these notes. I'm just going to read stuff that I've already written, and hopefully by the time I get done with the many comments and notes that I've saved from different groups, answering questions for people, hopefully by that time, uploading all those, I'll be able to have 1,000 subscribers, and I could do Q&As, and then we can just do that. I won't have to save notes. I'll just have live Q&As. It will just answer questions that way. So glad that you guys stuck around to the end. Again, please like, subscribe, and comment, and look forward to the next video and many other things that I'm doing. So we've got meditations, we've got frequencies, we've got alchemy exercises, which are basically spells and such. I got the book that you could buy on Amazon. I'm going to write many other books, including another version of this with a workbook included. I'm going to start the podcast soon, so stick around for all those things, and I'll see you next time. Live your best life.
Thank you with all of my heart for watching. Subscribe to explore more spiritual techniques, inspiring interviews, and powerful meditations. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time.